The stubborn resistance of British in the Battle of Britain caused a shift in Hitler's strategy in Europe. He decided to deal with Great Britain later. He then turned his attention to east to the Mediterranean area and the Balkans, and to the ultimate prize, the Soviet Union. Axis forces attack on North Africa. Germany's first objective in the Mediterranean region was North Africa, mainly because of Hitler's partner Mussolini. Despite its alliance with Germany, Italy had remained neutral at the beginning of the war. With Hitler's conquest of France, however, Mussolini knew he had to take action. Mussolini took his next step in North Africa in September 1940, while the Battle of Britain was raging. He ordered his army to attack British-controlled Egypt. Egypt's Suez Canal was key to reaching the oil fields of the Middle East. Within a week, Italian troops had pushed 60 miles inside Egypt, forces British units back, then both sides dug in and wait. Britain strikes back. Finally, in December, the British struck back. The result was a disaster for the Italians. By February 1941, the British had swept 500 miles across North Africa and had taken 130,000 Italian prisoners. Italy had to step in to save his Axis partner. To reinforce the Italians, Hitler sent a crack German tank force, the Afrika Korps, under the command of General Erwin Rommel. In late March 1941, Rommel Afrika Korps attacked. Caught by surprise, British forces retreated east to Tobruk, Libya. After the fierce fighting for Tobruk, the British began to drive Rommel back. By mid-January 1942, Rommel had retreated to where he had started. By June 1942, a tide of battle turned again. Rommel regrouped and pushed the British back across the desert and seized Tobruk. A shattering loss for the Allies, Rommel's successes in North Africa earned him the nickname Desert Fox. The war in the Balkans. While Rommel campaigned in North Africa, other German generals were active in the Balkans. Hitler had begun planning to attack his ally, the USSR. As early as summer of 1940, the Balkan countries of southeastern Europe were key to Hitler's invasion plan. Hitler wanted to build bases in southeastern Europe for attack on the Soviet Union. He also wanted to make sure that the British did not interfere. To prepare for his invasion, Hitler moved to expand his influence in the Balkans. By early 1941, through the threat of force, he had persuaded Bulgaria, Romania, and Hungary to join the Axis power. Yugoslavia and Greece, which had pro-British government, resisted. In early April 1941, Hitler invaded both countries. Yugoslavia fell in 11 days, Greece surrendered in 17 days. In Athens, the Nazis celebrated their victory by raising swastikas on the Acropolis. Hitler invades the Soviet Union. With Balkans firmly in control, Hitler could move ahead with Operation Barbarossa. His plan to invade the Soviet Union early in the morning of June 22, 1941. The roar of German tanks and aircraft announced the beginning of the invasion. The Soviet Union was not prepared for this attack, although it has the largest army in the world. Its troops were neither well equipped nor well trained. The invasion rolled back on weeks after weeks until Germany had pushed 500 miles inside the Soviet Union. As the Soviet troops retreated, they burned and destroyed everything in the enemy's path. The Russian has used this scorched earth strategy against Napoleon. On September 8, German forces put Leningrad under siege. By early November, the city was completely cut off from the rest of the Soviet Union. To force surrender, Hitler was ready to starve the city of more than 2.5 million inhabitants. German bombs destroyed warehouses where food was stored. Desperately hungry, people began eating cattle and horse feet, as well as cats and dogs, and finally crows and cats. Nearly 1 people died in Leningrad during the winter of 1941 to 1942, yet the city refused to fall. Impatient with the progress in Leningrad, Hitler took to Moscow, the capital and the heart of Soviet Union. A Nazi drive on the capital began on October 2, 1941. By December, the Germany had advanced to the outskirts of Moscow. Soviet General George Zhukov counterattacked. As temperature fell, the Germans in summer uniforms retreated, ignoring Napoleon's winter defeat 130 years before. Hitler sent his generals a stunning order: no retreat. German troops dug in about 150 miles west of Moscow. They held the line against Soviets until March 1943. Hitler's advance on the Soviet Union gained nothing but cost of Germans 500,000 lives. Most Americans felt that the United States should not get involved in the war. Between 1935 to 1937, Congress passed a series of neutrality acts. The laws made it illegal to sell arms or lend money to nations at war. But President Roosevelt knew that if the Allies fell, the United States would be drawn into the war. In September 1939, he asked Congress to allow the Allies to buy Russian arms. The Allies would pay cash and then carry the goods on their own ships. Under the Lend-Lease Act passed in March 1941, the President could lend or lease arms and other supplies to any country vital to the United States. By the summer of 1941, US Navy was escorting British ships carrying US arms. In response, the Hitler ordered his submarines to sink any cargo ships they met. Although the United States had not yet entered the war, Roosevelt and Churchill met secretly and issued a joint declaration called the Atlantic Charter. It upheld free trade among nations and the right of people to choose their own government. The charter later served as the Allies' peace plan at the end of World War II. On September 4th, a German U-boat fired on a US destroyer in the Atlantic. In response, Roosevelt ordered Navy commanders to shoot German submarines on the site. The United States was now involved in an undeclared naval war with Hitler. To almost everyone's surprise, however, the attack that actually drew the United States into the war did not come from Germany. It came from Japan.